All right, welcome to the first episode of the Ruthless Regression Podcast.
Mm-hmm. Except we're not starting with regression at all. We're starting with the present.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about Night of Champions, which just happened yesterday, Saturday. So, yeah, why don't we just get started here?
Okay.
Or should we introduce ourselves since this is the first one?
No, we'll introduce ourselves later.
Okay.
It builds mystery.
Okay, we'll just be strangers for now.
Yeah, who are these people?
Yeah, well, you'll find out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you want to talk about the first match, Rollins versus AJ Styles.
Yes, the most anticipated, at least for me. It was kind of surprising that they did what I thought was like the number one match very first, but maybe I had a misunderstanding of what the draw was for this event.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they billed it for 3 different main events, right? So there was this, Brock and Cody, and then there was the tag team match at the end. So I think they kind of had, I guess they did the last 2 back to back, but this one they did first, I guess. Yeah. We can talk about, I guess, the reasons behind that, but I mean, let's go through what happened. So,
okay. Well, okay. The winner was Rollins, which was highly expected on my end. But while I was watching, I was doing some Wikipediaing of AJ Styles, and I was surprised that in the Wikipedia they described him as being widely regarded as one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time. So I wanted to ask your opinion on that, because I thought that was a bold claim. Because I don't know as much about AJ Styles. I feel like he's not reviewed a lot, maybe. I know you've said in the past that he's known maybe more internationally. But even then, I thought that was a bold claim. So,
yeah, I think he made a name for himself more in other wrestling companies. Yeah. Like you said, like Japan. I think TNA he was big in back in the day, but like he never even came to WWE. I think until like 2016. So he's a famous wrestler, but not so much from a WWE perspective. But I think he's had a good run since then. He's had some world championships and stuff like that, but yeah, interesting that they chose him for this match. But I mean, it was a good match overall. I think both Seth and AJ are very good, like technical wrestlers. So I don't think you're going to get a bad match out of that.
Yeah, they felt more twisty. I felt like Rollins did more, maybe more grappling style or more like closer moves as opposed to like flips, jumps, things like that with the match. But maybe that's more AJ Styles' style.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a pretty good match. There was a lot of hits where, you had the reaction of like, ooh, yeah, that's
yeah. Weird. Lots of dangerous spots, I thought. Like there was the reverse superplex off the top rope. Looked pretty dangerous. AJ had a couple where he like picked Seth up and then like dropped him on his knee or on the mat, like straight, like almost on his neck and upper back, which looked really painful. But I mean, I guess that's one guy that you would trust to do that, I guess.
I guess so. But yeah, there was like 2 or 3 neck shots that looked pretty rough. But ultimately, Rollins won. And I think we were both happy with that outcome. I feel like Rollins is superstar material, at least in the short time that I've watched him, which hasn't been his whole career. But I felt like presented great. Let's talk about the outfit. Leopard print. Like nearly neon blue, not leopard cheetah maybe?
I don't know. I was thinking, what do you call that? Because he had these like massive shoulder. I don't even know what you'd call that.
I don't know. Shoulder pads, shoulder poofs.
I don't think any of Rollins' outfits like it's like they're indescribable.
Yeah. Accented with the gold nail polish, I thought was great. So I think he's one of the best well-rounded superstars that the WWE has as far as entertainment value. Just visually, he looks great, and I think he performs really well. So I was very pleased with the outcome.
Yeah, and they had the moment where Rollins appeared to like injure his knee, which that was either real, like he actually hurt his knee, or they just did a really good job of selling it. Because I think what happened was Rollins comes out and he does like a suicide jump off the top or over the ropes. And he kind of lands awkwardly on his knee, and he immediately starts like holding it and like trying to pop it back into place.
Yeah.
But
I have an ongoing theory that the WWE thinks, or I guess not thinks maybe, but encourages if you have a minor injury to like really play it up. But we can circle back to that with Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar for thoughts on that. But
well, yeah, I mean the difference. I think the Cody injury was definitely planned out, but this one, like I could be convinced either way because he immediately sold it, and then AJ starts attacking it. Like he goes into like submission move.
Yeah.
So either these guys are like just such major pros that they started improvising immediately, or this was planned out. But I think it was a good wrinkle to the match either way.
Yeah, it was a good match. A good opener. Surprising that it did open, like I said, because it was a headliner, but it was a good one.
And there was no chance AJ was going to win, which is why I think I feel like they tend to do that whenever like it's kind of obvious who's going to win. AJ just came off of a big injury.
Yeah. And
also he's on SmackDown, which they didn't really explain what was going to happen there, since the title's exclusive to Raw. But yeah, good match. Yeah, I feel like that's why they probably put it first.
Yeah. Get the ball rolling. Rollins always performs, which again, I think goes to his superstar quality. So I hope that he can do something with that belt and really make it shine. And he'll probably have to defend it a few times, I'm sure.
And the crowd was okay. I feel like the only thing they did was sing for Rollins, which I feel like is kind of the bare minimum.
Well,
but
yeah. That's the thing about Rollins is the crowd is always going to be on his side. It's just there. So then if you're his opponent, the vibes are already towards Rollins. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so the next Becky and Trish came out.
Well, briefly before that, Cody had a little segment.
Oh, I never watched the segments.
Yeah, it was a short segment, just like, hey, by the way, his arm's broken and he's got a cast on, and that's basically it.
Yeah, so, a little reminder in case you forgot.
Yeah, in case you forgot, is his arm is broken and he's got a cast.
I feel like those are for the either totally casual viewers, like you haven't watched a episode or show of wrestling in 2 years, or maybe for people they just can't remember, bless their little hearts, from last week.
Yeah. Anyway, Becky and Trish.
Yeah. Fair match. I don't think anything will ever compare to Becky versus Bianca in last year's SummerSlam. So it's hard to live up to that hype. I think that's the best women's match I've ever seen, as far as performance goes and like grit. But it was fine. I think Trish is okay.
Well, right off the top, I thought their outfits were better than the last time they were in Saudi.
Yeah.
At least the last time I remember, I think was last year, not Extreme Rules, Crown Jewel, maybe.
Yeah.
It seemed like they just had their regular ring gear on with just like t-shirts, baggy t-shirts.
Yeah.
Which looked really weird. This time, at least they all looked like they had their own custom full body ring gear.
Yeah.
Which was nice.
Yeah, Becky and Trish looked like they were about to wrestle and then like go drive a F1 race the next day or something with those outfits.
Yeah. I liked Becky's flight suit.
Yeah.
It looked like she was going to go to space.
Yeah. Or that or drive a race car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crowd was totally dead, I think, for this match. They were just not into it at all.
Yeah.
Which I feel like how the crowd reacts really impacts like how good the match feels.
Yeah.
And the crowd was just totally dead. Like they just didn't care about this, which
I don't think they do a lot of women's matches though. I think generally the energy's a little bit lower, but maybe more so in this case too. But I think that Trish and Becky have like a great dynamic as far as smack talking. So since there wasn't that to really get into the match, it did feel a little like the energy was a bit low. But
it felt rushed,
yeah,
the whole thing, because it felt like it was going to be a big deal with. I feel like that whole program with like her and Lita and Becky and Trish have just the whole thing has felt rushed. We had a couple promos with Trish and Becky, but I think Becky disappeared for a while. I don't really remember why, but it doesn't feel like it felt like it was gonna be built up to like a really big match. I think they were going to do it at Backlash, weren't they? I think originally that would have been much better because that crowd was pretty crazy. But we got it here, and it was not. It was pretty forgettable, I think.
Yeah, well,
we should.
I mean, the only memorable thing is that Trish actually won, right?
Right. So the ending was a doozy too.
Yeah.
Like we didn't even get a real finish. Zoe Stark comes out from under the ring and does her finisher on Becky, rolls her into the ring before the ref can see that she's out there. She goes back under the ring, and then Trish pins her. So not a clean finish. I guess we're not done here, but the question is, like, I don't even know where they go from here. Like, are they going to do tag team stuff? I don't think Lita would come back. She seemed like she was kind of done. So I don't know. I don't really know where they're headed here.
Yeah, I don't think Trish knows either.
Yeah, it didn't make much sense.
Yeah.
Becky did have a bloody nose at the very end.
Yeah.
So I don't. Actually, I think maybe Trish hit Stratisfaction, her move right before the end. Maybe that did it, but
that, or maybe they'll do a redo at Money in the Bank, maybe if they're not in contention for that.
Yeah.
You know, they just got to keep that rolling, I guess.
Yeah. Shall we move on to Gunther and Ali?
Oh,
Mustafa Ali.
Yes, definitely. I think the crowd was ready for that one.
Yeah, the crowd. Mustafa Ali is always a crowd favorite when they go there. So yeah, they were ready for this match, and Gunther put on a show as well.
Yes.
I wanted to point out a weird thing. Like I watched this live on Saturday because you were out of town. Then we watched it again tonight on Peacock, and I noticed right before this match, live they showed this whole promo video of Mustafa Ali, like going to the mosque, to Mecca or whatever, and like having this whole day, and they completely cut that out for some reason. So I don't know what's going on there, but I just thought that was weird enough to mention.
Yeah. It seems like he gets maybe the short end of the stick as far as like coordination of stuff, or maybe it's unrelated, but when we saw them at the live show in Raw in Greensboro, it seemed like he was coming out, what's the name of the match where they're all in
Battle Royal?
Yes, where they were all coming out, and it was like they made him come out, but then they showed us I think he was supposed to be maybe a separate entrance, and it was totally disjointed. It was a really weird moment of the show where someone had messed up something, it felt like, but
yeah, it was just weird. I don't know. It seems like with the Saudi stuff, it's always, I mean, you never know, like maybe something slipped in that was offensive to someone, and they just decided to cut it afterwards. I don't know. I just thought that was strange because they played promos for like everybody else, but this one is just like right into the match.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they had to trim it down for the time or something.
Maybe. But yeah, I mean, the crowd was super into it, and obviously on Ali's side, but I feel like Gunther just looked like such a monster.
Yeah.
He had he's really nailed being able to like look like this freakish athlete monster, just throwing him around.
Yeah.
Doing these crazy clotheslines that
Looked like it knocked the breath out of him.
well, yeah, like made him go in a flip.
Yeah, he full on flipped him with a clothesline one time, which was impressive.
But it wasn't a squash match, though. I mean, Ali had some runs. He had a couple of 2 counts. So, I mean, the crowd, I think, got what they paid for there.
Yeah, anyone with Gunther I feel is gonna be a great match. I don't think I've ever, in my short time of watching wrestling, watched him fight and thought, it wasn't great. I feel like he gives it his all. As far as physical performance goes, maybe not so much on the personality side, but maybe, I mean, it could be personal choice, or I don't know if that's just not him.
I thought he did pretty well on that side. He like really amped up the crowd. I feel like he's got to do a good job because I feel like people want to like him because he's kind of like a cool bad guy. Mm-hmm. And I think when you're in that spot, you kind of have to egg the crowd on a little bit and kind of get them to turn back against you. So I think he did a pretty good job.
Yeah. I love the navy blue of him and his...
instead of the red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seemed like it suited them well.
Yeah.
Henchmen is what I was trying to think of. Still, those 2 guys are hanging brain in those onesies.
Yeah.
Red, blue, pink, white, whatever they are wearing. They are highlighting the goods. So, good or bad, it's there. But navy doesn't help the situation. But, hey, it looks good. The navy does.
Yeah, okay. Well, got your stamp of approval on the trunks. Okay.
I don't know if I approve them, but, just an observation.
Gunther remains undefeated. I mean, other than, I guess, the Royal Rumble. Coming up on a year with the Intercontinental Championship, and I don't really see who's going to beat him at this point.
So was this fight for the Intercontinental Championship?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep, for the belt. All right, move on. We have another segment here before the next match. It was the Sammy and KO.
I'm glad you took note because I didn't.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't nothing too notable. They just were kind of talking about, Sammy was like, oh, well, if this is it, if this is the end, then it's been a good run since WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. And then KO was like, no, we're not going to lose. Mm-hmm. This is our day. The bloodline is over. And that's pretty much it. Just KO Sammy shenanigans.
That's a good word for stuff with Sammy. Yeah, so Bianca versus Asuka?
Asuka. Yeah.
I don't know. Is the U silent?
Sort of. Okay. Asuka. That's how they say it. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I think historically, name pronunciations with wrestling may not be very consistent. See,
they've been Otis.
Otis versus Otis. I'm pretty sure sometimes they say Mustafa versus Mustafa.
Probably. But they don't ever say Asuka. It's always Asuka.
Okay, well, you could.
Okay, agree to disagree. Yeah, I thought this match... I mean, the crowd still didn't care about this one at all. Like, it was weird. Even there was some weird chants for Asuka, even though she's the heel in this situation. Yeah,
but I mean, previously I think you said that she might be more well known, similar to AJ Styles, overseas maybe, or.
Well, I think she came from NXT, so she came up through the program. But yeah, I mean, I don't even know where to start with this match. I feel like I always zone out in Asuka matches. Yeah. Even with Bianca, like at WrestleMania too, it's just like, I don't know. I'm not an Asuka fan. I feel like she's got some good things going for her, but
maybe a little one-dimensional.
Well, she can't she can't cut a promo, right? So it's like really hard to.
Yeah, but do we know? Is it a language barrier?
Yeah,
or...
I mean, she can, like, I think it's a little more like broken English sorts of things. She can, exclaim something. And I think she does a decent job around like her outfits and her personality and stuff to try and make up for it. But I don't think it's enough. And this is another one that they didn't really build enough. Yeah, in my opinion, like
definitely the build up was I felt even lower than Trish and Becky. I wasn't really sure. It just seems like they keep going back to those two to redo this match over and over and over again. I don't know if maybe there's just not enough strong females to carry the load and to vary it up a little bit. Or maybe they just really like wrestling each other, so they're like, yeah, let's just keep going back to the basics. I don't know, but yeah, seeing them fight together multiple matches is getting a little. We've seen this before.
Yeah, I don't think they've done a great job with building up the women's programs for a while. I mean, even WrestleMania. With these two, and then with Rhea and Charlotte, it was just like no build at all. I mean, we get a promo or two here and there, but it's very much like a low priority, which sucks because I think Rhea and Bianca in particular are like two of the best ever, and Becky.
Yeah. And
I feel like they get the short end of the stick most of the time with not really getting much in the way of creative to help boost their stories.
I have to imagine that it takes all of the resources and time just to make the Bloodline storyline just so involved. Like every week, there's something with them.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably having 3 or 4 fully like Bloodline level storylines, it's not going to happen. I guess. I mean, it's probably hard to do, but. Yeah, how do you make it believable too? After you've, like I was saying, they've fought, and Bianca has won all times, but now, how do you make that believable as a recurring fight? Well, what's there to fight about?
Well, they made Asuka a heel, so
yeah,
she used the poison mist this time. She tried it the first time, just tried to spit it, but it missed.
Yeah.
And then she goes over to like the side of the ropes. The ref is like distracted Bianca for a second, and she spits onto her hand, onto her fingers, that poison mist, and then goes. When Bianca goes for the KOD, Asuka kind of rakes her fingers across her eyes with the poison mist, and that's apparently enough to distract her for a second.
Yeah.
So she takes a kick to the back or a couple kicks, and then one to the back of the head, and then she gets pinned.
Yeah. The commentator said something that I thought was interesting, and this may warrant discussion over time, maybe, as far as the logical rules of matches. I think I'm not sure if it was Corey Graves or the other man, said that it was an illegal move, and but yet she's the winner, which has me thinking, what's the point of having legal versus unlegal moves or strategies when you're still the winner?
Well, it's all about it's like any other sport. You can break the rules as long as you don't get caught.
Yeah, so, maybe it's like a break in the fourth wall kind of thing where I guess, everything in kayfabe is in the ring, and then the commentators and the audience are outside of the ring, I guess. So if the ref doesn't see it, it just doesn't count. Is that how that rolls?
Yeah, I mean, if the ref is like anything, if you break a law but the police don't see it, you get away with it. So.
Right. But I guess I'm thinking, in that case, if you had video evidence that you broke the law.
Well, so there's no retroactive.
You were okay.
Right. It's like the statute of limitations sort of thing. Like
it ends there.
You can't be prosecuted after the after the event. So.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it took me out of it a little bit when they were saying how illegal that move was. I thought, okay, so.
Yeah. But Asuka's she's the Raw Women's Champion now. Mm-hmm. I guess she's on SmackDown though. Like they still haven't done the belt thing. Like Bianca's been on SmackDown for a couple weeks now, 2 or 3 weeks, but she's had the Raw Championship. So they haven't, for whatever reason, they haven't switched the belts. I think it's because Bianca just like broke a record or something, which WWE is obsessed with their numbers, even if it makes the stories worse. Yeah. So they like just kept the belt on her longer. For what? For her to lose it now to Asuka.
Yeah, they need to spend some time working on that or workshopping that. Or maybe they're going to. I don't know. But yeah, the poison mist and the recurrence of their matches is... We've been there, we've done that, we've seen them both win now. We've seen every iteration that they can do together. I think it's time to move on.
And maybe we shall move on to Natalya and Rhea Ripley.
Yeah. The quickest match I may have ever seen.
Oh, you didn't see a few weeks ago the Cameron Grimes versus Baron Corbin. Where he did the stomp.
Was he the newer guy?
Yeah, he's the new guy from NXT.
Yeah. The country guy.
Yeah. He comes out and stomps on him in like 2 seconds.
I saw a flashback.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think I saw that live.
But yeah, this was a quick match too.
Yeah. It almost made me... I mean, again, maybe it goes back to just lack of stronger female headliner people. At this point, I'm wondering why, and maybe they will in the future, kind of bring Rhea into the dynamic of Becky, Bianca, Asuka. Maybe.
Well, I think they're all on different brands now. Rhea's on Raw, and I think the other 3 are on SmackDown.
Gotcha. So
I'm not sure about Becky, actually. No, she's on Raw.
She's on Raw. Yeah, she was at the Greensboro show. So
yeah, it seems like there's a lot more. I don't know. It feels like really lopsided with Raw and SmackDown, even in the women's division.
So going forward, are all premium events like if they're going up for the women's title? I guess the 2 contenders will have to be in the same show. Yeah.
That's the idea, but I mean, especially the closer we get to WrestleMania, the more the rules don't matter, and there's going to be more crossovers probably. But at least for now, the rules are pretty sturdy. So yes, for now they have to be on the same show. But then Rollins and Styles were on 2 different shows competing for a Raw belt. So and they never tried to explain what would happen if AJ won it. So you would assume that he would then go to Raw, but
yeah, it's sort of like if you pay too close attention, it takes some of the fun away.
The rules are they're there for convenience, and you just kind of have to go along with it sometimes. But Natalya and Rhea, Natalya didn't last long. Got slammed into the stairs a couple times, and then rolled into the ring and
and promptly gave up.
I forget Rhea's finisher, but she got finished.
Yeah, and then limped off. Yeah, it was quick.
She got a payday.
Yeah, she showed up. She got her name out there. She had fun. She looked cute doing it. She was having fun.
And Rhea and Dom looked like 2 peas in a pod.
Yeah. It was fine, expected, quick.
Not much else to say, is there? Okay.
All of the women's matches were pretty quick and simple, I think, in this event.
Yeah.
But, you have some stunners and some bombers.
I guess maybe it's not reasonable to expect a really great women's program in Saudi Arabia. So
I don't know that, or they just. I keep going back to whenever we're watching the weekly shows that there's just not a lot of stronger female characters, whether it's physically strong to do some of the moves that a Becky, a Bianca, a Rhea does, or they just haven't fleshed out who they are. We need a little bit more background, a little bit more personality, a little bit more style, which of course Becky and Bianca and even Rhea, who has her own unique style, really excel at. I would love to see Piper
Niven.
Yeah, become more of a thing, more of a character. More, I think she has a unique style and a unique look. But again, maybe it comes back to there's just not enough time in the week to develop everyone equally. So maybe in the future.
Yeah.
We'll have some new NXT people that I still have yet to learn the names of.
Well, yeah, we saw one of them.
This week?
Sorry, what was her name? I keep forgetting her name too. The interference, Zoe Stark.
Oh, yeah.
Zoe Starks.
I usually need to see someone about 3 dozen times before I remember their names.
She's had consistent matches. I think she's on... I guess she would be on Raw. Oh. She's had some pretty good matches in the last few weeks. They're building her up to be strong, so...
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah.
She seems like
a... faces.
Yeah. Okay. Up next, this little Seth Rollins segment with his new belt.
I do remember that one, yeah. He was just saying it's been a while, 4 years? And he's happy and...
He said, put some stank on it. Whenever Byron introduced him, which I thought was pretty funny. I'm going to have to start saying that.
Oh, maybe. Maybe in some situations.
He said he was going to be on Raw every week. Okay. I think that's what he said.
Oh, okay. Well, we need a superstar that's showing up.
We need
Roman Reigns. So yeah, that'll be great. Right now I'm Team Raw. So
yeah, I think I am as well.
Yeah,
we'll see how it shakes out. All right, Cody and Brock, our second main event out of 3.
Yeah.
Yes, because you can have more than one main event apparently.
I almost think they needed to do that one after the Bianca match, but yeah, great match. Brock always delivers. Cody Rhodes always delivers. I always sing the praises of Cody Rhodes as far as, again, his superstardom. I think he's a great personality of a professional wrestler, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they called out that his cast is made of titanium as he walks down the ramp. He's got this titanium cast on his left arm that he's nursing a bit. They kind of start the match out and he's like being very elusive. He's sliding out of the ring, running around, sliding back in when Brock chases him, and then trying to get the upper hand, trying to protect that arm.
I love watching Brock Lesnar run around the ring with his little legs.
Little legs.
Yeah. I mean, compared to mine, they're probably huge. But yeah, relative to his massive upper body, I always get a good laugh out of watching him chase people around the ring, which I think he often does when he's fighting, at least big matches like this.
Yep, and the match swings toward Brock Lesnar as he does Brock Lesnar things. And but at some point there's a turning point where Cody realizes he could use his cast as a weapon, so he does some dives at Brock.
Yeah.
Cast first.
Yeah. The medical. I have to think. I think it's one of two things. Either Cody is the most injury prone, careless, I guess.
He got a keg smashed over his arm by Brock Lesnar.
But hear me out. If you have a broken arm and you're doing that amount of activity on it, both with the beating and the twisting of your lower arm bones, and it's broken, it's going to be so much worse. Like, you are doing potentially irreparable harm to your arm. There's no way.
Is this your physical therapist corner?
Yeah, there is no way. So that's what I'm saying. Either he is the most careless athlete in the world and all of the trainers in the WWE are, running around like, no, Cody.
Triple H tried to talk him out of it.
I don't know. You know, the segments, I don't know. Sometimes they lean a little reality TV, which I guess in a way it is. Yeah. But so it's either that, which I don't think it is, or he maybe just had a little minor sprain and they were, you know, playing it up real good. But
maybe there's a chance, but I guess we should talk about the end. Brock locks in the Kimura on the hurt arm a couple times. I think Cody gets out of it once. Then he gets right back into it, and Cody does not tap, but the ref calls it because he's out cold.
Well, is the equivalent to a tap when they hold the arm up and it kind of is that like considered a tap?
That's not considered a tap. Oh. That's just like you're out. Oh. You're not capable of giving up.
Gotcha.
It's I guess a knockout.
Yeah, he looked
submission.
A little dazed, but again, maybe he's a really good actor, or I don't know. But yeah, he did look a good bit dazed.
So he was out. He didn't give up. He never gave up.
Yeah.
But he did lose the match, so now they're 1-1. I couldn't help but think, like, you know, Brock during his promos and after he beat down Cody was saying like he wanted a fight. And I was wondering, like, is this a fight? Is this what you meant? I mean, just like twisting his arm till he passes out. I mean,
you know, poor Brock. I think he's confined to the needs of the WWE sometimes, because you know, if he wanted to, he could take that arm and snap it like a twig. So.
I mean, it worked. It's just it seemed more like a wrestling match than a fight to me. Yeah. So I was wondering, like, maybe for the third, I mean, where they go from here, maybe they do like a last man standing kind of match.
Yeah.
No submissions, just you gotta knock somebody down for 10 seconds or 10 counts.
Maybe Brock was saying he wanted to fight, but he wasn't directing it towards Cody Rhodes. He was just saying in general, because the guy rarely ever fights. Mm-hmm. At least, I mean, he shows up for the premium events, but...
Yeah. So maybe we'll see another one. They're 1-1 now, so I have to imagine they're going to come back to it at some point, but I don't really know why they did the whole injury angle.
I don't know. I
don't know that was necessary. I keep hoping that they're building Cody up for a rematch with Roman at some point. I hope that it's SummerSlam, but I don't know anymore. Since WrestleMania, I have no clue what's...
Maybe he'll win Money in the Bank or something?
Yeah, I think that's possible. I guess we're going to see, probably he's going to be out of action for a little while.
Yeah.
I mean, you would think so. I mean, if he just comes out fresh as a daisy on tomorrow night, that's going to be a little weird.
Well, let's not put it past them.
I don't think they're going to do that, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I think we will hear from him, though. Or
we'll
Brock,
see.
or both.
I'd like to see Cody Rhodes be a champion of some kind at some point, because I really don't see Brock getting to that point again. I think he's a great player in the world of WWE, but I'd like to see Cody get up there one day. Maybe against Roman.
We need a champion who's not a part-timer. And now we've got Seth at least, but we need to get rid of the other one too.
Yeah.
I guess that's a good segue into our last match. It's a doozy, and there's a lot to unpack.
The longest, most get on with it match. I have a sore spot about the bloodline. I'm a little over it. Takes 20 minutes to get the match started, but it did finally get started.
Well, it was Roman's special day. It was 1,000 days as Universal Champion.
Yeah.
All the fans had their little banners, their little flags they were holding up, so that was the whole thing. And Sammy comes out wearing I guess a traditional robe.
I have no idea.
I'm not sure what it's called, but yeah, he came out in like a robe and kind of started got things started in Arabic, talking to the crowd.
Yeah.
The crowd was super into Sammy too, like almost if not as much as if not more than Mustafa Ali.
Yeah, Sammy's great at crowd work. He was great in the live show too.
Yeah, so I mean, the crowd really bounced back, I would say, for the last two matches. They were kind of so-so for the first half, but I feel like they were pretty good for the last couple.
Yeah, and his song always seems to really hype people up.
Yeah.
So that's always a plus. So I think, I guess becoming a WWE personality, like, you got to choose a good song to really hype the crowd. And then a
sing-along song,
yeah,
ideally.
For sure. That or one that just really rocks hard. But I'm sure the options are limited. But yeah, he has a great song. Came in, crowd was hyped. Again, it took a little bit to get the match started.
Yeah, Roman and Sammy start in the ring. Roman plays up the crowd as he always does. He plays on the crowd, maybe a little too much, but I guess he does do a pretty good job of hyping things up and getting the crowd involved, which is good. But also, it takes like 5 minutes to throw the first punch,
Yeah.
And he doesn't even throw the first punch here. They circle each other for a minute or two, and then he tags Solo in. Yeah.
They are the pros at the slow start of a match.
Very slow pace to start.
I think of all the wrestling I've ever seen, which isn't a ton at this point, but a decent amount, at least of the recent stuff too. They are, anytime Roman Reigns does something, from my memory, it is the slowest to get started. He really likes to take his time.
He milks the crowd for sure.
Yeah.
Every last drop.
Yeah, every last drop for sure.
Which, I mean, he's earned the reactions, but sometimes sitting at home, you just kind of want them to get on with things a little bit.
Yeah.
But so what happens next? I mean, we've got, I guess we can skip forward to when Roman spears the ref. The ref is out of things, which happens, it seems like, in every single Roman match.
Yeah.
Every bloodline match is like interference.
Oh, they love their interference.
Yeah. So, and I mean, it was accidental. He was going, I guess, for Sammy. I can't remember, but they dip out of the way and the ref is out for like a couple minutes. But actually, he's out for the rest of the match.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's out. He's gone.
Huh. Did they replace the ref? And I maybe just...
At the end, another one came in.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, and what else we have? The Usos came out to attack KO when they were... So KO looked like he was going to put Roman through a table, and then the Usos come out, take care of KO. They get into the ring. Sammy's there. I think Jay does a super kick on Sammy. Then they back up. They're going to do a stereo super kick. Sammy ducks at the last moment, and they hit Solo Sikoa at the same time with a super kick.
A crime against humanity.
Yes, totally accidental.
Totally.
Roman is livid, so he comes in the ring. He's so pissed at Jimmy and Jay.
As always.
He's yelling at him. He's saying, "Why did you do this? Why did you come out here?" He pushes Jimmy really hard, like in the face, like the most disrespectful way. Just like, take your face and just get it out of here. And he's talking to Jay. He turns around, boom! He gets hit with a super kick by Jimmy. Finally.
Finally, yeah.
Finally, the slow burn.
Oh, the slowest. I don't even think it's burned. It's like it burned. It went out. It smoked. They tried to relight the fire. It smoked
it's
some
coals.
more. It's cold.
It's coals for a while, but it's fire again because he talks. So he's Jay is really conflicted here. He's like conflicted between his brother and his tribal chief, and Jimmy's like, "No, I got this. I got you." And he super kicks Roman again. And Roman rolls out of the ring, and he's like, "I'm going to do what you should have done a long time ago," or something like that.
I can't wait to relive that on SmackDown for the next 2 months.
Oh, yeah. We're going to see it for a long time.
Yeah.
So, so, so then they get out of there, and then KO comes in. KO and Sammy come and finish the job on Solo.
Yes.
So,
which was very satisfying.
yeah.
As a self-proclaimed Solo hater, hate to say it. Of course, I mean, you hate the personality, not the person. I don't know the person. So it's not personal. But the personality, yeah. We're over it.
Well, he lost.
Yeah.
He lost pretty clean. I mean, I guess he did get super kicked by his brothers, but I guess you count that as interference. But yeah, so Solo and Roman lose.
Mm-hmm.
Neither one of them lose very often, and now the bloodline seems like it's done.
It's surely not done.
I don't see they're not going to make up. I don't think they're just going to like kiss and make up on Friday on SmackDown.
Yeah. I would love to see the Usos go and do something else. So I hope that's what we're moving towards is something else. Like just fighting someone else.
I think they'll probably fight each other for a little while. Like I could see Money in the Bank or even I hope not SummerSlam because I want Roman to face Cody at SummerSlam. But I think we're going to get Usos versus Solo and Roman.
Yeah.
Very soon.
Maybe. I feel like it almost cheapens the character to just kind of box them in a bit. Even if it is with Roman Reigns, who is the superstar. If I feel like he's very limited, as opposed to, let's say, Rollins, Lashley, even Rey Mysterio, they're fighting different people all the time, and sure they may be challenging for belts, but they're always fighting someone different. The Bloodline, the Usos, Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, even little old Paul Heyman. It's been the same thing.
It's been a long running story.
Yes,
but I mean we're starting to see some different stuff. They haven't fought each other in a while, at least.
In a while, but you could do something different. I'm ready for a change.
Well, they've got to resolve this somehow. I know you're not a huge fan of the Bloodline story, but
yeah,
you can't just quit, like pretend it never happened. They've got to do something.
Yeah.
I think Jimmy and Jay are out. They could do a thing where a brother turns on the other brother.
Yeah.
I guess that would be a swerve, but I think the most obvious thing is probably that tag team match between Solo, Roman, and the Usos.
Yes, it's odd to me that if they would do that with Roman to make him a tag team guy. I just can't.
It would be temporary.
Yeah.
I mean, just like this was.
Oh.
I mean, they're not going to, at least not now, they're not going to, while he's got the world championships on him, like I would be pissed if he didn't defend those belts at SummerSlam at least.
Right.
He hasn't defended them since WrestleMania.
So that's where I go back to like what, even Gunter is always, or Gunter, he's always fighting someone different to challenge the belt versus Roman.
Roman's been through a lot of them though, to be fair, like previously to like when we kind of got back into things like Royal Rumble-ish. I think he's fought almost everybody, which is one reason why Rollins ended up with the belt, I think, the heavyweight belt.
Yeah. Because
he's one person Roman hasn't really beat in a while. So.
Oh. Yeah. Rollins is a good fit for it, though. I think going forward, I'm excited to see how Raw plays out. And hopefully, I still think that SmackDown is going to be Bloodline heaven for a while.
Or hell.
So I'm sure that will continue to play out. I'm selfishly a little glad that that's been hopefully quarantined to SmackDown and I can enjoy Monday Night Raw a little bit more without that, but we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Up next, we got Money in the Bank coming up. Predictions?
Cody Rhodes. I think Cody Rhodes could win the Money in the Bank, but
and then go against Roman. You think?
Yeah, for sure. He wants that WWE Championship.
Yeah.
So that's what he would go for. But now, like with their storytelling with Cody, like I just don't know. seems like they always zag.
Yeah. It's just as soon as you think you've got them in your palm, they're out of there.
So, and with this, like everything since WrestleMania to now with the broken arm thing, like I just have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah. I think he'll, at least with Cody, I feel like he'll continue to show up whatever storyline they put him in. He's going to show up and do a good job of it. I think he has a good personality. I think he does well. Like he knows how to work the crowd. He knows how to fight. He knows how to play the game. It feels. So at least he'll show up, and he'll be active and he'll fight somebody.
Would have been a perfect champion.
Yeah, he will be a perfect champion.
He will be. Positive thinking.
Yeah, one of these days. But yeah, maybe we'll catch up with a little ruthless aggression. We'll come back. We'll do a little flashback and.
Well, yeah, and before that, like, what's any other like thoughts about the show? Like, how's it rank? Like in terms of like since the Royal Rumble, we've seen every show. So where's this rank for you?
Of all the ones that we've seen, or you think of all the premium events?
Yeah, I guess we've seen all of them through last year too.
Yeah.
So I guess over the last year, where's this? You don't have to give me like a top 10 or something. But.
Yeah, I think I still prefer like a Royal Rumble style. Last year's SummerSlam was great. Maybe we could do a rewatch and a re-talk.
Yeah,
of
that was a great one.
I thought it was really entertaining. Even WrestleMania was pretty good. There were some good moments.
Yeah.
A few disappointing ones, but still a good show. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to Royal Rumble. I wonder when that will be. Later in the year, maybe?
Oh, that's a while. That'll be in February.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. It's always fun to see everybody just go ham. And
yeah, the Rumble was probably my favorite of the last year, just with all of the. I mean, the matches were great, and you had like Gunther, as we know him today, was kind of born in the Royal Rumble, and Cody as well. I mean, he had Hell in a Cell as well, but
yeah.
And then we had the big turning point with the Bloodline with Sammy turning at the Royal Rumble. So I just feel like that one, end to end, was probably my favorite.
Yeah.
WrestleMania was good too, but like you said, disappointing moments that kind of soured.
Yeah.
I thought that, I mean, to go back to the original question, I think this one was good. I don't think it makes any of my top lists for the last year.
Yeah.
The good moments, but overall, okay.
Yeah. It was good enough to make a premium event, good enough to keep the story going. I think they had to drop a big Bloodline finisher, but
it's all about the finish, right?
Yeah.
WrestleMania was amazing until the end. This one was okay until the end.
And then
and
then they
you
wrapped it up.
remember the ending most.
Yeah, that's true.
From that perspective, it was a good show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Any other thoughts?
No. Catch the next premium event. We'll regress ruthlessly a little bit.
Yeah.
And maybe do a little past-present comparison next time around.
Yeah. So probably next episode, next week sometime. Probably we're going to start with our Ruthless Aggression rewatch.
Yeah. Which
is really what this podcast is centered on. We'll definitely revisit the new stuff as new events occur. But yeah, I guess we'll hop into that next time. So thanks for listening.
Yeah. See you then.